So maybe I'll give a little bit of a introduction to what this is all about. Let's just reset that as well. Hello, welcome. So the breath of Ra, I was sitting thinking about what we're gonna meet about and how we're gonna make this a beautiful session. And I was thinking, what is a fundamental that's always been there in my life, that's always offered me something of a higher level? And I thought, it's the sunshine. We literally would not exist without the sun. So obviously when you start looking into is there a solar deity associated with the sun? Yeah, that's Ra. And is there a kind of ancient understanding of Ra and the relationship that we could have with this being? And that's kind of like the starting point, because we in our life, we're always looking for something to give us meaning, and at the core of reality, we're meaning making machines, we're meaning making beings. And we are from my experience of deep psychedelic and astral experiences, the meaning we give to something is just that, we are giving it meaning. So without our awareness of it and without our experience of being ourself, things are just there, or maybe they don't even exist, because there needs to be something to experience that. So we're living in a world potentially of infinite potential, where good and bad does not exist. That's a human construct. You look around the world at the moment and the human construct is going to have a real fucking good time labeling things and judging things and coming to conclusions and meanings. And, very quickly we can find ourselves a bit lost. So what if we were stripped all of that stuff back? What would we be left with? We'd be left with seeking warmth and comfort. We'd be left with a very basic kind of appreciation for the earth and what comes up every single day without stopping is the sunshine. So we've got this according to ancient understanding, this being that actually we not only get to witness with our eyes, but we also get to witness by feeling that being actually touching us. As the sun's rays hit our body and it transmits that warmth, we are literally receiving photonic information. That is what's happening. Okay, and some of that information comes through as certain light frequencies as heat, and then we're able to experience that. And I'm making a big claim here, which is that I'm going to say that heat, that is one of the closest ways that we can on a daily basis feel the Great Spirit, feel pure consciousness, because that is the informational field that we're actually interacting with. It's sustaining our life. If the sun went out, that's it. It's all going to collapse very quickly. And I don't know about you, but have you ever had that experience where maybe you're laying on the beach and you've given yourself, some time to just let go? Maybe you've had a swim and you've kind of let go of some of the day's issues. And then you finally lay down on the towel, and maybe you've got your little brolly there to protect you a bit from the sun, but you actually lay there and you just let go. And there seems to be this intense energy that facilitates that deepening, that deep relaxational space. And most people don't really notice it because they just go, oh, that's what happens when you go to the beach. Yet there's a process that's happening there that's quite profound. So some of the things that you might notice when you're having an experience like that is you may end up reliving different things from the day. You might end up reliving different situations that occurred to you in your life. And that's actually quite rare, you know, that we kind of almost, it's like, you know, if I gave you a load of magic mushrooms, you're going to have the same experience, you know. You're going to sit there and have a little experience where things are going to pop up into your consciousness, and there's going to be little things to overcome and little lessons to understand, and little moments between you and someone else that you're kind of, you know, you're just having that moment to just reanalyze it from a different perspective, all the time with this sense of warmth. So I think we've got an opportunity to connect to something, and that thing we're connecting to is what we're made of, you know. And this is the kind of the irony and the cosmic giggle of the whole situation, is that we don't even need to try. It's already happening. Those photonic codes, they're coming into our body all the time. But what I would like to do is I'd like to go from being someone who just chops the wood to being someone who can carve the wood. You know? Turn this beautiful piece of wood, this great photonic experience with this being in the sky of infinite intelligence, multidimensionality. It exists on this level of reality. It also exists as a field in the astral that we can connect to, as a being of benevolence, of pure light, the emanation of warmth. You know, that's a beautiful thing. And it's right there in the sky every day for us, reminding us, shining down on us. So I thought, you know what? I think we need to tap into that. I think we need to see what we can do to align with that. So we, you know, we, like I said, we're getting the, you know, the kind of the experience anyway. So we're all, you know, we're all maybe like woodworkers on one level, you know, if we use the wood analogy. But now it's going, okay, how do I hone this so I can actually get more information? I can actually have dialogues with this being, you know? And also, I think it's offering, you know, I'm not someone who felt good about religion. That was just never something that sat well with me. I could just see religion as a control structure, and just basically like the root cause of most of the wars in the world, you know. So for me, I found it very difficult to connect to this kind of divine being, because it's like, how do you connect to a divine being if you've got no concept of this being? You know, it doesn't have to be a man or a woman, but still, you know, where do we direct our thought energy? Where do we direct our intentional energy towards if we want to experience those more, you know, not devotional as such, but those types of energies where we are able to receive something back, you know? And really, when Yogananda was talking about this, Yogananda said that for most people, it's more, even though everything is the one thing, we are that one thing, it's actually highly beneficial for seekers to still project towards some kind of some image, some target. Because if we don't have a target, then we end up just not projecting that level of energy towards anything. So we don't get to experience what it feels like to be in communion with something that is so vast. Does that make sense? So the idea of using the sun is to say, like, hey, we've all had experiences in the sun, you know? We've all actually felt the warmth of the sun. That's a fucking great start. That's a fucking great start. Most religions have less than that. Do you know what I mean? Some dude lived some time ago, you don't know it, but it's in this book. You never get it, you may never felt anything, but just trust, faith. Whereas actually I'm saying, hang on a minute, we've got this big thing in the sky that seems to control a hell of a lot of stuff. It feels amazing when you go out in it, and actually when we go beyond that level, because that's all physical, but once we go beyond that level and we go into actually a deeper, more alchemical, esoteric understanding of what this energy or this being is, we realize that it's an infinite consciousness. And the law of one, which, you know, obviously is channeled work. If you haven't read it, then I highly recommend reading it or listening to it on YouTube. They talk about Ra being a collective consciousness, essentially. There's also quite a few books talking about how the actual rays of the sun contain beings in them, and those beings again can be something we can connect to. So you know, obviously we've got a kind of a spectrum here of kind of like how woo you want to go, and what I'm saying is, like, let's explore it, you know, let's explore to see if we can actually divine something from this connection. And the connection can be made as simply as just directing our attention towards that feeling of warmth. Okay, so that's what I'd like everyone to focus on in this. So if you don't have to believe anything about the sun, you don't have to think it's anything more than the warmth that we already get from it. Okay, and I think that's quite a nice starting place to start from. And obviously the reason why we're kind of going for the sun here as well is because everything is light. We are light beings ourselves. So it seems somewhat relevant to bring in the being that creates all of the light, at least in this dimension. So that is my rationale for why I think this is an interesting exploration to go on. Does anyone have any questions? No? Yeah, feeling good? Awesome.
I have a question, Matthew.
Yeah, go on, brother.
How do you know the Ra collective consciousness? How did you encounter this kind of consciousness? And have you, by chance, read a book called The Law of One?
Yeah. So the Law of One is obviously, I'm drawing some of the information from, but it's also coming from, I had an experience, I might have told a few of you about this, an astral experience where it was very quick. I got out of my body and I was feeling quite depleted, in all honesty. I was totally exhausted. I didn't really have very much left in me. It was one of those, I don't know if you've experienced this yourself, guys, but when you're so tired, that's actually quite a good time to have an astral experience, you know? It's just that sometimes when you're that tired and you end up getting in the astral experience, it can be so hard to hold on to, because you're just so exhausted that you're not actually be able to be fully aware in it. And they can kind of fade quite quickly into maybe a dream or something. But in this scenario, I came out of my body and I was just met with this light, and it was just this warmth, and when I was thinking about this event and I was thinking about, what I was going to talk about and what we were going to do, I thought about that warmth, and I just thought, well, that is the same warmth. It's the same warmth that I get from the sun. But it was just, obviously in this dimension, when we feel that warmth, we get that little bit of a hit on the mood, because obviously being in the sun is good for your mood. That's why people have SAD, seasonal affective disorder. So we already know it has a profound effect on the mind and the body. But in the astral, obviously that warmth, there is no boundaries. It's not warming your body. You are the warmth. You are the light in that moment. And becoming that light and being that light, it's like it fills in a lot of gaps, and this is without, it's like, I wasn't looking for the experience. It came to me, and then in that experience, you're just left kind of feeling revitalized and filled back up. So that's why I thought, okay, let's do this on renewal, because the sun is very renewing. It is the life force that kind of sustains all life. So that's kind of where it came from. So I've kind of taken a few different things. I also really wanted to read you the first chapter of Neville Goddard's book about awareness. I didn't get it ready, unfortunately, but I will get it and I'll put it on underneath this event, because he does a beautiful introduction which brings together essentially like non-duality, kind of the understanding that everything is that pure awareness, and how everything is light, and that kind of brings it all together. And obviously now with quantum science, we know that light is information. Light is information. So that's why some of the experiences, I've been testing this out for kind of obviously since I started thinking about it. And one of the things that I found when I was doing this is that, just like I was saying earlier, it's almost like I'll have little images coming into my mind. So, allow whatever arises, even if you think, oh, maybe I shouldn't be looking at this, or maybe I should pay attention to the breath, or maybe I should be listening to what Matt's saying or whatever, unless it's completely unrelated and completely, you just think, oh, this is just something I was thinking about earlier that's not good, and I don't want to be doing this. Other than that, allow it to come in and listen and watch. Because for me, that's how I found the messages coming through from what I was essentially doing. Is I was literally sitting, getting into deep meditation, doing the breath work that I'm going to share with you, and then I was deliberately focusing my energy onto that field of Ra, that sun, that warmth, and then just basking in that. And as I basked in it, messages came down. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping to facilitate here with you guys. That's sort of, so when I'm saying things like communion, that's how that looked to me. Okay, it would look like images coming into my mind, maybe sensations in the body. Usually with a lot of the breath work that I do, we would broadly classify it as quite like Kundalini, very kind of masculine. Whereas this, we're going to do some fast breathing, but we're not going to be engaging from the lower body and pushing up to the pineal gland. Okay, that's not what we're doing here today, because I don't want to push that energy up, because once you start pushing that energy up, we're kind of creating a whole cascade. Now that may happen for you naturally, and that's what we want to allow. So this is kind of like an inverse, because the Shakti energy that we're working with can work from the lower chakras, which is what we usually do, and that's why we pull from the base and we push up to the pineal gland. Whereas this time we're going to be just pulling the energy in from above. Okay, so we're still going to do some quite strong breath, but we're not going to be kind of seeking it. We're going to be receiving it. Okay, this is a little shift, but I think it opens a different gateway, so we can start getting different things coming in.
Now I see why the chakras are turned upside down.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
I was wondering what the hell is going on here.
Matt's turned everything upside down. What's going on?
Yeah.
Let's have this. So, any other questions? No? Okay. Okay, so welcome, Radiant Ones, to this sacred temple space. We're here to activate the light body, not through strain or effort, but through remembrance and resonance. In ancient Egypt, Ra was not just the sun god. Ra was seen as the radiant source of all consciousness, a being of golden intelligence that nourishes, awakens, and remembers. Today, we know that light is information. The sun is not just heat, it is a living transmitter of intelligent energy, constantly bathing us in photonic codes. When we breathe with intention, with devotion, we attune ourselves to that field. We come in communion with a sentient solar being, Ra, whose golden codes are already within us, simply waiting to be reawakened. In yogic traditions, this activation might be called Shakti, the awakening of divine intelligence within the body. Sometimes she rises as Kundalini, but Shakti can also descend as light, clarity, insight, radiance. In this journey, we're not forcefully awakening energy from the base. Instead, we're receiving golden Shakti through the crown, through the breath, and through the field of Ra. From a quantum perspective, your breath is not just biological, it's a tuning fork. It shifts your electromagnetic field, opens your awareness, and makes you receptive to higher frequencies. You are entering coherence, which is how energy moves from chaos into clarity. In the astral realm, Ra isn't something you necessarily see. It's something you feel, a golden presence, a field of clarity that reorganizes your system just by being in contact with it. Some experience Ra as a being of light, others as warmth, peace, and expansion. So you don't chase it, you remember it. So this is what we're doing. We're breathing in a way that opens the light body. We're harmonizing with solar intelligence, and we're creating the conditions for deep activation, release, and astral alignment. Let this be your invitation to drop in, not into effort, but into trust. Close your eyes and relax. I'd recommend, if you can, to be laying down. As we get into the deeper breathing, it will definitely facilitate a deeper journey. So just make sure you're comfortable. You're here to remember, to radiate, and to become light. In the Law of One, Ra is described not just as a solar deity, but as a unified consciousness, a messenger of light and infinite intelligence. Tonight, we breathe not only with the ancient God of the sun, but with the warmth of the living life force that animates all creation. Ra is the radiance that rises each morning, the golden current within your breath, the source light that remembers itself through you. As you breathe, you open a living dialogue with this solar energy, not as something outside of yourself, but as the light of your very being. Welcome to the breath of Ra, and welcome home to the light within. Let's take a moment just to breathe slowly and just ask yourself within, what am I ready to release? What am I ready to embody? So we're going to begin by tuning the body, the temple, so that it may receive the light more fully. The nervous system is the bridge between the seen and the unseen. And as we tone and sigh, we clear the static, tuning ourselves to the subtle frequencies of the sun within. Okay, so we're just going to start with some nice gentle humming. When we're on the inhale, just breathing through the nose, and then just on the exhale, just nice gentle hum, and let the vibration resonate through your heart and your crown. If it helps, you can place your hand on your heart. And this is going to be the frequency of your inner sun stabilizing. It's a nice deep breath in. And pay special attention just to that last little bit of the hum. focusing on your heart and your crown. For one last hum. Really enjoy this one. Beautiful. Now we're going to do some sighing, but with a little difference. So, on the inhale, we're going to inhale golden warmth, and then we're going to sigh it out, allowing each breath to soften the body and preparing it to hold more light, more remembrance. You're returning to the natural rhythm of your essence. Nothing to fix, only to harmonize. So here we go. Breathe in that golden warmth. You can feel it in the bottom of your belly, almost like a cauldron. You can see a flame if that helps. And then just let it go. Let's do that again. Breathing in that golden warmth. Hold it in the bottom of your belly. And then let it go. Nice audible sigh there. Breathe in that golden light. See it almost circling in the bottom of your belly like a cauldron. And then release it when you're ready. Breathing in that golden light. All the way to the bottom of the belly. Hold it there for a moment. And then let it go. Beautiful. Breathing in that warmth. Hold it at the bottom of the belly. And then let it go. Lovely. A few more times. Here we go. Breathing in. See, feel, know the golden warmth going to the bottom of your belly. Hold it there for a moment. And then release. Breathing in. The warmth of the bottom of the belly and hold it there. And then release. This time when we're breathing in, we're going to remember the last time we felt that lovely warmth of the sun. Okay, so breathing in that golden warmth and feeling it, remembering. Hold it at the bottom of the belly. And then release. Beautiful. 2 more breaths. Here we go. Breathing in that golden light. Hold at the bottom of the belly. And then let go. And then last one, really enjoy this one. Breathing in. Hold at the bottom of the belly. Remember the last time you felt that lovely warmth, that holding. And then let it go when you're ready. Beautiful. Now we're going to activate the solar channel within our body. As a living current of solar intelligence to stoke the inner flame. So you're going to close your left nostril, and then we're just going to inhale through the right, drawing in the solar current. Feel the golden radiance entering through your breath. Hold it briefly and then exhale through the left nostril. And then breathe in through your right nostril. Feel the golden radiance entering you through your breath into your belly, and exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Nice big inhales, then hold it for a second. And then exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Hold it in the bottom of your belly. Feel the warmth, the golden light. And then release it through your left nostril. Inhale through your right nostril. Hold it for a second. Focus the energy into your belly. And then release through your left nostril. Breathe in through your right nostril. Hold the energy in your belly, that golden warmth. And then release it through your left nostril. Breathing in through your right nostril. Hold it for a second. Feel that warmth. Take a moment to remember the last time that you felt that lovely warmth of the sun on your skin, or that cosmic radiance. And then release it through your left nostril. Breathing in through your right nostril. Hold it for a second. We're just going to hold for a little longer on this one. And then release through your left nostril. Going to do 2 more of these. Breathing in through your right nostril. Feel the energy in the belly. And then release it through your left nostril. Okay, this is the last one of these. Really enjoyed this one. Breathe in through your right nostril. Hold it in the bottom of the belly. Relax your shoulders if they're tense at all. And then release it through your left nostril. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, you can just come back to a gentle in and out breath. And I'll explain the next breath. So we're going to do the breath of fire with this one. So we're going to keep a steady rhythm, and we're going to be using our belly just to kind of push the air out of our nose. So it will sound like this, and we're going to just breathe through the nose. Okay, so it's quite rapid. And this is really going to build that fire inside and let your inner sun awaken fully, okay? So we're going to be doing this for about 5 minutes. So it's quite a workout, but just do your best and just focus on the sensations inside your body, okay? So we're going to start, and if you can't get the belly working in harmony, don't worry, do not stress, just focus on the fast breathing in and out through your nose, okay? Here we go. Keep that rhythm going. Keep building that energy. If you can, use your belly almost like a pump to pump that breath out again. Keep going. We're going to do 1 to 2 more minutes of this. Stoking that fire, building that energy. More seconds, keep it going. Let the breath go. Beautiful. Okay. Now we've activated the fire within. Now we're going to enter the stream. Breath flowing in an unbroken circle like the eternal path of the sun across the sky. This is the breath of wholeness, and just allow it to carry you. Okay, so when we begin, we're going to do a circular breath with our mouth open. This is also called transformational breathing. You're going to be inhaling and exhaling connected with no pause. Okay. This is a breath. We're going to breathe in the light of creation and breathe out anything that no longer resonates. Let the wave of breath dissolve the boundaries and always Put your focus on the sensations inside your body. Maybe just take a few breaths just to prepare. Make sure you're laying down if you're not, or you're very comfortable. So with our mouth open, we're gonna begin. Keep it going. Any resistance, just push through it. Doing amazing, just keep it flowing. Keep your mouth nice and open. Keep it flowing. Breathe in the light of creation and breathe out anything that no longer resonates. Let the wave of breath dissolve the boundaries. With each cycle, you dissolve into pure presence. Your light body begins to shimmer, align, and awaken. Breathe into the belly and then let it go. Nice and circular, holding on to nothing. focus and allow the sensations in your body to guide you. Feel, see and feel the golden sunlight pouring into your crown. A living transmission from the solar logos. Let it move through your body, illuminating every cell. Keep breathing. You're doing amazing. You are the breath. You are the radiance. You are becoming the light. You are remembering. Let the light move through your body, illuminating you, vibrating, resonating. Feel it as it courses through your body, golden intelligence, solar awareness. This is your solar channel. This is your solar remembrance. Invite in the solar codes, invite in the solar energy, allow it to course through you, feel it as the vibrating sensations within your body. You're doing amazing, keep going. Over halfway, you're doing amazing. Breathing all the way into your belly and then just letting it go. Go beyond the sensations and keep going. Be brave. If you yawn, or if you need to shake, do that and then continue to breathe. No gap, just keep breathing. Allow the radiance to radiate through your body, through your being. Breathe through the resistance. Minutes remaining. You're doing amazing. Keep on going. See the radiant golden sun above your head. Continue to breathe and invite this radiant divine solar consciousness into the top of your head. Feel it enter as you continue to breathe. With each breath, draw this light into your crown, into your heart, and into your solar plexus, and out through your limbs. Let it just radiate out of you. You are in communion with Ra. Allow these photonic, cosmic divine codes to encode deeply into your being. See it, feel it as a golden, shimmering light entering through the crown of your head, pulsating, crystalline, alive. You are light. Allow your breath to gently come to a natural, easy breath. Your light body activates now. Let your breath soften, no effort. Just awareness. Spaciousness within you. You are vast. You're so vast, you're boundless. Basking in your own light. Radiating from your being. If a vision intention or question arises, let it drift into the light. No need to chase, just receive. That you're swimming in, basking in. Allow it to inform you, reorganize, and encode. If you have a question, feel free to ask the field. This may show up in imagery, sensations, memory. It might even show up over the next few days. This is a sacred space, a depth of space where we can set seeds, we can plant seeds here for future harvest. So if there's anything you'd like to see happening in your life, plant that seed now. Even if it's just a seed of gratitude, feeling, a seed of a feeling that everything is beautiful, golden, safe, warm, complete, whole, in absolute alignment. There's no separation between you and the field. Infinite consciousness, field, you, different words, all the same thing. If it feels right, allow a smile to come to your face. And just allow and feel those beautiful energies just emanating from you like the sun. Feel yourself as the sun, emanating the warmth of life, love, and creation. If you were the sun, how would you feel? If it feels comfortable, feel free to join me in a little hum just before we come back. And if you don't want to come back, feel free just to stay where you are. are pure radiance, cosmic. Light being, completely aligned, wholeness. You can lay your palms upright just to receive, just to bask in that beautiful golden field of cosmic solar intelligence. If you want to stay where you are, feel free to stay and just bask in that. If you'd like to come back, feel free to come back and share anything you'd like to share. Hello, beautiful beings. Would anyone like to share anything about their journey?
Oh my god. Or should I say, oh my ra? Oh goodness, what an experience. I think that I passed out with the fire breathing. Because I can't remember anything about that. Yeah, with the circular breathing, I felt like warm and cool air energy circulating in my body. It was very nice. And during the fire breath, I really can't say what I felt because I can't remember.
It was quite a strong one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I can't remember anymore. At that moment when I was doing it, of course I could feel everything, but I can't remember right now what I
Don't
felt.
worry. It will come. Allow it to come to you over the next few days. You know, that's the beautiful thing about the sun and Ra energy, is that it's all around us all the time.
There was a moment I kind of felt like hot air balloon. All the worms going upwards, and my head was like, whoa. Yeah, it was. And what else? Yeah, I kind of lost my memory because I can't remember. Yeah,
Perfect.
It was very powerful. Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you, Joanna.
I want to share.
Please.
Today was like strange because I was driving and I started to breathe, and I was thinking I will try to breathe very slowly, like very, very slowly, like in and out. And now you are coming the same breathing, the very slow what was first. And second one, today I saw fire breathing in YouTube, and I was thinking, I will ask you when we are doing this. That's so crazy. I will take a picture from that I will send you, and I'm asking.
We're all one consciousness, you know, all playing roles for the one being, answering questions and asking and answering. You know, it's like we're all the fingers on the hand. You know.
Yeah. And the last when I was like, it was like very intense, and I was like thinking, I can breathe so long like that, like so quickly and so long. I was like surprised. I didn't tired. And when I lie down the last, then I saw I saw my soul leaving from different bodies.
Wow.
Like, it was like flying everywhere, and it was so cool to see that. Like,
wow.
Like it was like how I can say, I even didn't see like face was strange, but yeah, different bodies when it came up and started to flying like everywhere. It was like really, really cool to see that.
Wow. And were you out of your body at this point, or was this kind of like in your third eye?
I just saw that. I felt third eye, and I felt like some strange energy was coming from this side, like here. And then I saw this picture, and I felt that, like different bodies, and it's coming out. And it's like not just coming out and flying. It was like crawling and starting to spin and do everything, like, yeah, I'm free.
Whee!
Yeah.
Wow. Well, that sounds amazing.
Yeah, it was so amazing trip. Wow.
Wow. You said, could we do a psychedelic one? Well, I think this is part way towards that, I think.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you so much, Matthew. You are so cute. So super, super, super.
I'm literally just trying to follow the signs, guys, honestly. Like, you know, I really honestly do not know what I'm doing. And it's like, I'm just opening up and just putting myself out there and just following along and trying to get out of the way as much as I can. Do you know what I mean? It's so beautiful to see and to hear, you know, obviously your experiences. So this is really magical, guys.
Can
Yes,
I
and
share?
Yeah, please, Matty, please.
It was amazing. Matthew, thank you so much. I had just this in the fire breath was really like I just transformed into this energy, this blue and really, really very bright light, and I was liquid. I was like moving like this. I wasn't a body anymore. It was just like energy. And that was such an amazing feeling. It was so beautiful. And at the end, when we sort of, lay down after we finished the last breath, I just saw all these types of golden energies just waving around me, and sort of, it was just like angels all over the place, just waving
Wow.
their wings all over me, and it was so beautiful. So that was amazing. Really, really, very, very grateful. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Ra came out for us today.
Yeah.
Wow,
Thank
that's amazing.
you.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you so much, for coming and bringing your energy to it. Honestly, thank you.
Mm.
Anyone else like to say anything? Meredith, you got anything to share? Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I just try to write things down when I can remember it, but I have some notes now.
Nice.
Thank you so much. Again, the breathing for me, it's really something I need to work on. And by doing this, I get so much help just figuring out to, use my tummy to breathe and not being in the chest. That so thank you for opening that up daily. Yeah, everything. So, and I remember I had this light, so it kind of like helped me a lot.
Yeah, I was about to say, I can see you got your infrared there. I'm a big fan of the infrared myself.
So yeah, and for me, I couldn't follow you in the breathing, kind of like not at all, but I had to take a lot of breaks, and it felt good. And I had a olive, and it tasted amazing. I was just like, "What's happening? What's happening?" And it's just like, "Ooh, okay, I could eat some more olives after." But then I lost all my, I got numb all to my knees on both legs. They were just numb. And at a point, I needed to go and get some more water. And I was just like totally out of it, like a jelly going like this. Just like, don't, fall down and hit your head, blah, blah, blah. But I was just, I'm going back in. And then after, when all the breathing was finished, that's why I remember the light, and I just sat on the floor, and then they come was a forest with a lot of deers, and I was riding the deer, and they were kind of like super close up to my face, and it was so kind of like intense with them. I was just with them, but then suddenly there came a Indian woman with a gas mask, and she was underneath some rocks, but then she disappeared. I kind of like wanted her to disappear again. They're just like, thank you for showing up, and I don't know what to do, but thank you. And then I went to Egypt, to my home. I always feels home being there. So just going around and say hello to the neighbors. And then I started to just started to play with energy ball, and then I got totally just lost in that. I was just sitting, and I forgot that I was even somewhere. And then you said, yeah, that was beautiful. I was just gone. And then you said, if you want to hum with me, do that, or just be where you want to be. And but then it kind of like I rocked it off, and then I was kind of like going back again. So yeah, that was it. I loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I love it. Look, great. I love how everyone's experience is different as well. It's so interesting. It's so cool. How's it for you, brother?
Matthew, thank you for leading so beautifully the session. It was amazing. Your voice, your messages were perfect, and so the energy in incoming, and I felt into the hands, tingling, and feeling like a thick expansion of energy from my hands. That's what I felt as a circuit of light that was flowing through me, and the hands were tingling, just still tingling. Yeah, very good, very
Amazing.
nice.
I
Very
felt
nice
the hands
relaxation.
myself as well, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. So very beautiful, profound relaxation. I was in the middle of, and I heard in the background some binaural beats. Is that right? Is that correct? So I regret that I didn't use the earphones. It was really intense, very beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, brother. Thank you. I've got Amy and Beryl. Are you guys wanting to say hello? Are you quite happy just doing your thing wherever you are? And also we've got someone on iPhone there. Oh, there we go. Hello. There we are. Hello, you. How you doing? How's that for you?
It was good. I actually had my air conditioning I put on, which I put it on at 22 because I was like, okay, I don't want to get too cold. And then I ended up doing that, and it was just like it felt like it was colder right at the end. So I was just like, oh no, this is not the sun. I didn't feel that warm right at the end there. But I think I got a picture of me like when I was really young in my backyard, and I was on this little red tricycle kind of bike thing. So I think that was there, and I think it was just because I don't really know exactly what it means, but I remember that was a very sunny day. I don't remember directly from my memory. I just remember pictures, me seeing pictures of myself when I was younger. And I'm like, oh, I gotta go look for that picture. Maybe, there's something to that, right? Also, before we even started anything, I mean, I've been talking to my sister, like letting her know, like, there's housework to do in the house and different things. But as soon as summer comes, it's always like, I just leave that. And I just can't be bothered with it. And I just come out and bask in the sun all the time anyways, right? Because that's what I do every time. So I'm like always trying to make sure like my cleaning's done from way before, but it's just like life is moving so fast. It just feels like, why is everything so messy all the time in here? And then afterwards, so I did a little bit of cleaning before I came and whatever. And then also just talking to my sister, she just that time of the month for her today. And so what happened to her is she went outside in the sun to sit because she wanted to be, like feel the energy and feel the sun and get hugged by the sun. I'm like, yeah, that's me every day, right? Like she's like, yeah, you got to be in the tropics. So I was saying, like one of like the visions and understanding more about form and formless and manifestation is that I've been outside in my backyard a lot throughout the years, been here since about 2019. But what I've noticed is there's some good times and some bad times in the backyard. But like over the course, I feel like I remember seeing this picture of like, like wanting to be in Florida and, the greenery there and there, like just being on a beach where like, there may be a palm tree and, you're sitting underneath with your chairs and stuff like that. And I noticed that this year I feel outside is just so much more like I feel like I'm already there at the beach, even though that's not the scenery and whatever. There, it is a bit more of the greenery that I picture in Florida and stuff like that. And it feels really, really good, you know? And so I just been like coming out. So here's the backyard. And I think
lovely.
a little bit of that is because these chairs, we I don't know, I guess I manifested it because I was sitting on this chair like maybe like 2 weeks ago and saying, oh man, these chairs are hurting my back. And then all of a sudden, maybe like out of the blue, maybe that 2 weeks ago, maybe like the next day afterwards, I said that these chairs were for free. Somebody was just like, they didn't want it anymore and they were throwing it out. And I'm like, I had to just double check and knock at the door. Are you like giving those, like, are those garbage? You know, like, and they were like, yeah, they didn't want them anymore. So I just grabbed them and I'm just like, oh, I've been loving them. So I'm like, okay, good manifestation.
You're basking in the lovely sun energy already. By the sounds of it. Yeah, lovely.
It is. It's so good. So that's why it just matched up with what you were doing. And that's what happened the last time too, with the mirror one too. And actually, my sister, we were talking about that and the whole mirror situation. And then there was actually another person. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. His name is Daniel something. He does dream porting. And and he had, his last one was about the mirror thing. So he had the whole mirror thing going on and whatever, but yeah, it started with you first.
It must be in the collective consciousness, you know.
Yeah,
you're calling forth these kind of stronger ways of really understanding, you know, what is going on here, you know. What am I really experiencing, and who is this looking back? You know, is it the conditioned self? Is it, you know, Matt, who's, 38 and, lived a life, and when he was a child had all this going on, or actually, is it something much, much older? Is it something that's actually eternal? You know, and I think this is what the mirror can give us. Obviously, I think, we all had quite a journey with that. Is to really get, I think it's about our focus. Life and focus, they're like where we go and how we focus is absolutely fundamental. And to give you a really crisp idea of how fundamental it is that when I was doing Vipassana, 9 hours of meditation a day in near darkness for 9 days, after a certain amount of days, you're sitting there and your body, because obviously normally in your normal life you get up, you go around, you chat to people, you do things, don't you? Our body to some degree has already got kind of like a pattern to it. At a certain time in the evening you perhaps relax, you have your dinner, and most people, unless you're completely chaotic, most people have some form of pattern that they live by, and what's so interesting is that when you're sitting in deep meditation and the only thing you can do is focus, that's it, there's nothing else going on, the body was still trying to get up. So I'd find myself sitting there kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm following the energy up and down. I'm trying to feel exactly where the energy is on these specific parts of my body. I'm not using visualization. I'm actually feeling the outside of the air touching my skin, and as you're doing that, that's obviously taking all of your focus until the moment your body wants to move. And then before you know it, I'd end up in this kind of like mini little dream. And in this little dream, I'd feel like I need to stand up. And I'd literally start standing up. And you'd be like, what the fuck's going on here? Like that. So our focus, because in that moment my focus went from my body to the mind, suddenly it started controlling me. And I started experiencing a completely different reality, because all I was trying to experience was just sitting down doing nothing.
But your body, your actual body was standing up now after.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Or
so
like
funny.
somatic, autonomic, you know. So our focus is everything, because we know that obviously in that moment, and that's what I had to do, was I'd fall out of the dream, realised that I was about to stand up, realised, fuck, I'm in a room of 200 people, all in complete silence, you know, and doing like what was meant to be like concentrated meditation, like you're not even meant to like shift your posture or anything, you know, you do about 2 hours of that each day where it's kind of more strict. And this was that section, you know, but because I wasn't able to hold on to my focus, and that's the interesting thing. It's the same with astral projection. You know, in the astral, if you allow your mind to start bringing in other things, before you know it, you're all over the shop. You know, you're falling into a lucid dream. You go from lucid dream into a dream, and before you know it, you're being chased by some monster that's like, you know, you wake up and you're like, oh, what, you know, and that's because our actual ability, our muscle as such, our focusing muscle, hasn't been honed in the way, you know. So that's that again, you know, I think. So if you think about it, as we're focusing and we're holding that focus, we are actually sending energy to whatever we're focusing on. You know, we're feeding that. Oh, I think Matty says off. Thank you, Matty. So good to see you. Bye. So good to have you with us. You know, so yeah, so there's obviously practices that, you know, I definitely recommend, and it can be as simple as just watching your breath. And, you know, the simpler it is, the more basic it is, the less that it gives your mind, the kind of better it is, really. You know, obviously it's kind of like the difference between meditating with music that's kind of evolving and taking you on a little journey, which is kind of, you know, it's good, and obviously definitely something, you know, we use it here, obviously. But then, you know, the next step is actually be able to cultivate that level of focus without any music, you know, and be able to hold that focus. So like in Vipassana, what you do is for the first 2 or 3 days, I think it is, you're just focusing on the breath going in and out and focusing on this section here. And it is boring. It is so fucking boring. But after a while, it's like your focus becomes like a laser. And then when it's a laser, when you've honed it and you've kind of taken the light, which is what we are, from like a floodlight, which is great, you can see lots of stuff. But seeing lots of stuff doesn't always help us, you know. That's kind of like overwhelmment, you know,
yes,
of life, you know. We see it all, it's all happening, you know. Whereas actually when we can turn it to a laser, we can then go, hang on, what do I want to actually focus on? And in this moment, it could be, you know, cultivating the feelings of living in the end, where I don't have this issue or problem, whatever it is. You know, people are always obviously looking for ways to manifest, because manifestation is just reality creation, and why the hell wouldn't you want to create a better reality for yourself? But one of the most important tool for manifesting is the ability to focus. You know, same with astral projection. You know, it's very difficult. You can get experiences, obviously, through all these things, kind of like happy kind of coincidence, where you've been too tired and you wake up between asleep and you're like, oh, something's happening, you know. But to really cultivate that ability and have that, that's where we bring in focus. And just doing a little bit of training at home, just watching your breath in and out. You can just do it as you're going to sleep at night. You know, these are little things you can do just to kind of bring up your overall capacity to direct your energy into ways and into creations that are really going to be fulfilling for you. Meredith?
Yeah, so the practice of focusing is focus here or just at some point or just
Yeah, so it can be at any point really. The traditional way is here because it's quite good, because as you breathe in, you should be able to feel a slight differential between the air coming in and out. So as it breathes
so you
in,
kind of yeah combine the breathing because you can feel it here, so that's your focus
yeah,
at that point.
yeah,
Ah,
yeah, and
cool.
and on the way in, it's cold. On the way out, slightly warmer.
Yeah, so
Okay.
all you do is breathe, of course, because you're silent and because you're feeling something here, it's the best to focus at that point.
Yeah, it definitely is a starting point. Obviously, you can get, there's things like, for example, like the silent hum. That's a really powerful, tool as well. But I find that if I'm a bit chaotic, trying to do a silent hum is a bit difficult, because I'll do it for a little bit and I'll get bored. So I'll have to maybe make the sound of the hum kind of calm down, let my nervous system align itself a little bit, and then I can move into the
Be quiet, yeah. And another thing with the humming, I always take my tongue up in here. That kind of like is that affecting a lot of more, or how should you use it?
So if you're doing any sort of kundalini where you're breathing up, which you may or may not, and humming obviously can kind of start to activate things anyway. It's quite a good idea just to generally keep your tongue on the top of, like, where you are, like just beneath your front teeth, on the top of your mouth, because that just basically it takes the circuit that goes up your back, to your head. So you've got your cerebral spinal fluid, which comes up your back into your skull. You've basically got a little gate there, which is your pineal gland. And then what happens, and this is obviously based on the yogic philosophy, is that the energy goes up and then can come back down. Now, when it comes back down the front, that becomes a nourishing of the body and of the soul and being. So obviously that's very beneficial. At other points, you can go straight out your head. Obviously that's like more kundalini awakening, kind of like rising and very strong activation. But even when that happens, the energy will need to come back down, because you can't just have it just like your head just open like that. So
Yeah,
it would just be too
I
much.
know that feeling. Yeah.
I've activated myself a few times where I've thought, oh bloody hell, what have I done here? It's strong, and when it's that strong, you want to bring the energy back down to ground it back into the earth as well.
Yeah,
So
because when I practice, what I learn is you take it up, and then because of the openness, I think, so the tongue just making a gate to have that combination for pulling it up all the way. So, and I learned it, and after I had my head injury, I felt like I had a light crown going up like this all the time, like this. It was crazy. So it just, now it's more a little bit better.
yeah.
But again, I know that feeling for sure. But okay, using the tongue. Thank you.
Any other questions, guys? No? Well, thank you all so much for coming on this cosmic journey with me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Love seeing all of you. Loved all your, being in your energies and just co-creating what's just turning out to be just an absolutely cosmic adventure. Here we all are as supposedly separate beings, living out our lives all across the world. Yet we're able to come into connection and to cohesion and into that moment where suddenly there's just being and there's not separateness. Let that radiate throughout your life, guys. Across until we see each other again. Let it radiate out into all of the people you meet, through your eyes, through your smile, through your heartbeat. Let each person you see feel that love and that unity consciousness. Let it lift each person that we meet, all our relationships. Let it fill them with that light of knowing that beyond all appearances, it's all beautiful. Whatever we see in the world is a reflection of the conversations we have within ourselves. Let those conversations be ones of love, unity, and connection.
Thank you all for shining your light so bright.
Thank you.
Care Bear.
Thank you. Much love.
So much love, guys.
Love. Bye bye.
Bye 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 bye. Ciao 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 ciao.
Ciao.